Hello everyone and welcome to what you guys have been suggesting for quite a few days now. It is Lichess Game of the Month, and I know it's a little bit weird showing you Lichess Game of the Month being presented on chess.com interface, but the internet is a weird place, so you know we have to do what we can. And also I had some issues with the interface, so I included this is a one-time only well, sort of a reward for you guys, a large photo of Vasily Ivanchuk as I'm presenting the game. So let's check it out. It's well, Lichess, every month they choose a game of the month, and usually it features a game where I don't think it's required that it's played between two very strong players, even though here it is. dauANHbac is over 3,000 rated, and international Master of Mayhem is 2914. So obviously incredibly strong players, and the time format is 1 minute per player. So it's a bullet game, but I decided to show it as it features a move I called the Rashid. And of course, you guys know what a Rashid is. A Rashid is a queen sacrifice on f6, in particular a queen sacrifice for a knight. And then, well, in the game that I'm talking about, it was sacrificed for some long-term compensation. But here, even though it seems like you're getting checkmated right away after the sacrifice, it's really not. There is a defense, but it's very, very hard to spot, and that will be the pause the video moment for this particular game, not the actual queen sacrifice. So that being said, let's check it out and try to, let me see if you can keep focus with good old Vassal staring at you like this. So let's check it out. dauANHbac with white opens with knight to f3. Dareti opening, we have knight to f6, pawn to d4, and pawn to g6. We have pawn to c4 and bishop to g7. We have the King's Indian defense and pawn to h4. Now, while not a completely new position, there are a handful of games that reach this position, and d6 is a non-move, but castles is a non-move. But here we have pawn to d6, and it is already here as of move 4 that we have a completely new game. So okay, we have pawn to h5 and knight captures on h5. And I know when you guys see a position like this, you just want to play knight, rook captures knight on h5. But as this is played amongst very strong players, knight to c3. The proper way to continue, we have knight to f6 and bishop to h6. Preparing to capture on g7, we have bishop captures, rook captures, and now pawn to c5. You can see that all of these moves have been played pretty much pre-moved, 2 seconds spent. We have queen to d2 and c captures on d4. We have knight captures and knight to c6. Okay, nicely played. We have castles queenside and knight captures on d4. Black can be very happy as white didn't achieve all that much here. We have castles and now pawn to f3, preventing the knight from coming to e4 or g4, and of course preparing pawn to e4 and pawn to g4. So bishop to e6, putting pressure on c4, preparing rook to c8 as well, pawn to e4 and rook to c8. And now how do you continue? Well, you could capture on a7, but as it's a bullet game, you know, players usually decide against such moves. Bishop to e2 and now pawn to a6. We have rook h to d1, rook d to h1, doubling up on the h file, and now pawn to b5. And objectively, this is already winning for white, but it's a bullet game. Queen to d2, not the easiest move to spot because there is no defense. Whatever you play, just rook captures on h7 and it's game over. Like b4, rook captures on h7, and that's it. If you don't capture, it's you're getting checkmated. If you capture, still queen to h6 and you're getting checkmated, whether you move the knight or not. So it was already winning, but c captures on b5 was played. We have a captures on b5 and now king to b1, getting off of the c file. So b4 is not that big of a deal. Queen to a5 and now pawn to a3. We have bishop to c4 and the bishop captures on c4. Rook captures on c4, and now there is only one good move for white that we could say that sort of gives an edge to white, but only if you know what the Rashid is, and that of course is queen captures on f6, removing the defender of the h7 pawn. And here I allowed the exclamation mark, the double exclamation mark to remain, because it's not like you're checkmating black right away. Certainly not. E captures on f6, and now rook captures on h7. And now if you do nothing, rook to h8 check followed by rook 1 to h7 will be checkmate. But black finds a nice defense. Pawn to g5, And now knight to d5, threatening knight captures on f6. That will be mate in 1. So queen to d8, defending the f6 pawn, and now knight back to e3. And there is only one way for black to defend this, and it's, could be a move that you wouldn't think of right away, but that's why we're gonna make it a pause the video moment. Feel free to pause the video and win the game for, or rather, don't lose the game for black while I give you a couple of seconds. The only move that doesn't lose the game for black is queen to c8. A queen to d7, well, very nice, it does lose the game, but queen to c8 holds, and for a very particular reason, and that is once you go knight to f5 to prevent the king from going to g7 and checkmate him with rook to h8, there is rook c1 check. And now after the rook moves, you give up the queen, and then after the king captures, you will play king captures on h7, or you give a check first to improve the position of your rook, and then capture. Either way, black will be, well, black is now no longer lost, and black will, well, black was never lost, but black will not be losing this game. However, after knight to e3, rook to c5 was played, sort of just guarding the f5 square with the rook, but now it doesn't work again for a very particular reason, and that is knight to f5. You could start with rook to h8 right away. Knight to f5 also works because black's plan all along was rook captures knight, and to free up the g7 square for the black king. The problem is once you capture, the pawn will also be covering the g6 square. Rook captures on f5, e captures on f5, and he was in this position on move 26 that Master of Mayhem resigned the game, as there is nothing more to be done here. Whatever you play, it doesn't really matter. Literally any move on the board, like queen d7 or anything, will be met with a simple rook to h8 check, king g7, and rook 1 to h7, and that will be checkmate due to the pawn covering the g6 square. So yeah, there you have it, the Lichess game of the month. Do you agree with it? Is the queen captures on f6 a move as spectacular as everyone claims, or should they pick another game of the month? It's not like they will, but also I'm always interested in hearing what you guys think. So yeah, queen captures on f6. I mean, aesthetically incredibly pleasing. Of course, we can't argue with that. Rook captures g5, clearing the path, and now only defense was queen c8. Beautiful, but after this, knight f5, and it works like a charm. So yeah, there you have it, Lichess game of the month. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I myself, whenever I see a queen captures an f6, I will look at it, I will analyze it, and then if I deem it worthy, will present it to you guys as well. So I hope you enjoyed it. I would like to thank a friendly Weasel, Bubbles McGee, Tigran Shanzarian, Chess King 22, and welcome Atlas Wilton Jack Ingram for your contribution to my channel. Thank you a lot, I really appreciate it. As usual, you can check 2 of my previous videos here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon, continuing to check up on your wonderful suggestions, such as this one, and whatever else happens in the chess world. So thank you all, I will see you soon, and have an excellent rest of your day, and hope I didn't freak you guys out with this huge photo of Chucky. See you soon.